The Letter 1.1. Now you might be saying, wait a minute, didn't you already review this game? Because I remember you really didn't like this one the first time around. That is true, I did already review this game. However, the creator of this game did something I wasn't expecting. He changed the game in significant ways. In fact, the game that I reviewed no longer exists. I wasn't sure if this was going to be a review or revisit video. However, since the game that is out now is not as worthless as it was before, I'm just going to re-review it. But this review is going to be peppered with me talking about the previous review. Click the annotation below if you want to see it first. Come on, last chance. Okay, let's review The Letter, which even though it's technically version 1.1, I'm going to call 2.0, since I think this game has drastically changed, and it really should have been called 2.0 instead of 1.1. First, you can see they changed the intro graphic. It no longer looks like the game is called Press Plus to continue. Now we see a blood-soaked letter. What caused all that blood on the letter? Why is it folded like a wedding invitation? All these questions and more will absolutely not be answered. In fact, the story that was in the previous game wasn't tightened and improved, it was expanded and made more confusing. But we'll get to that in a bit. You go through different levels to change your location. That's the simplest way of saying that the level designs barely fit the narrative. You're a lone kid with a flashlight, which you can turn on and off. You have to explore the normally reasonably sized locations. You have to find the item that you need to go to the next location. It flat out tells you with instructions on the wall what you need to get, so that was nice. You now see a battery indicator, which would have been a cool idea if you had to save your battery by needing to turn it off occasionally. I'd say it would have been a cool idea if not for two things. The level designs on the second level was just a mess, and it was just ridiculously too large for a game to worry about a flashlight battery. And second, it never goes down a level. It's just for show. It'll go lower depending on the level that you're in, but it'll never go down in the actual level. The second level is actually bigger than before, I believe. He's added in new buildings and quests for you to do in it. Now you have to find an item and a note, in addition to the other items. The item is a wedding ring, which I swear I thought was just one of those big rubber bands that you put on your arms the first time that I saw it. Then there's also a note to find, which just is there to pad out the game. But I'm going to give him credit for trying. Even if it was clumsily put in the plot of the game, at least he was trying to add more to it. But instead of shrinking the map and making it tighter and more defined, the creators decided to add more pointless buildings. He actually made us walk to the very end of the map corner just to collect one item and then walk to the other end to get the other. He seems to think that traveling through this land is going to make the game more fun. No, it just makes the game more tedious. There are still no monsters to bother you, so this whole section is just frustrating. They've added in a new jumping puzzle for you to do, and since the controls are just as awful as they were in the first time, this could have been really bad. However, I'm going to give the creator some more credit, as he knew this and he made the jumping areas very big and forgiving, so that's good. If you like to, there are hidden tapes to find throughout 2 of the levels of the game. And if you collect them all, you'll find a hidden level. So you might be wondering, how many tapes do you need to collect? And where's this hidden level? It really is a secret because they don't even allude to it in the game itself. You just kind of stumble onto these hidden tapes, but there's no context behind them at all. If the creator was smart, he'd added an inventory system which shows you how many tapes you need, or how many you've collected. But no, the objects are so pointless, why bother having an inventory system? Well, I'm going to tell you, you need to find 4 tapes. 3 of the tapes are very easy to find, but the 4th one, you put it on a ledge where you're going to need to do some very precise walking on power poles and wires to get to it. You don't do this when the controls are terrible. All you're going to do is piss off the players. For the 33 minutes I was playing this game, I swear to you, 15 minutes of that was me trying to get this tape. I just kept falling and falling and falling and falling. I mean, it's ridiculous. I did finally get it, and I got to the secret level, which fits into the plot like a square peg in a round hole. I will say that secret level was creepy. It made me wish that all the levels were like this. Sure, there was no danger, but it was a bit scary, just because of the atmosphere. Now the 3rd level's added a few buildings, and overall it's very nice. I do have to wonder what kind of toilet this was going to be, or if that is the toilet. That is really messed up. There are new hidden messages to find, and it's even more awkward when reading them. Your dad is talking to his son, but he signs them like he's writing a business letter. I was half expecting to say, "Sincerely yours?" Why is he so impersonal with his son? This leads me into the plot of the game, which makes less sense than before. So you find your dad's letter. He tells you not to go to the construction site. You find a knife, plans, a wedding ring, a note, and a syringe. Now this kid instantly jumps to the conclusion that his dad is dead. Dude, that's pretty dark. These things were found way apart from each other. Why was he thinking he was dead? You find the hospital, and you need a key to get inside, and an ID for some reason. Then you go into this hospital with one room and lockers. It was like the oddest operating room I've ever seen. It was like a changing room slash operating room slash break room, I assume. That can't be sanitary. So you wait around for a minute because that was such a great idea the first time around. And you, okay, spoiler time, awaken on a beach from Kingdom Hearts. You find out that the whole thing was a dream. And your parents are fine and decide to leave you on this small island with no water. Now this is where the game would be over unless you collected all the tapes. It basically says you go back to sleep and it awkwardly pretends that the whole waking up thing didn't happen and you're still looking for your dad. Why is this at the end of the game? Why not put it before the beach level? It would make way more sense with the plot. Also, it says that you're going to need to decode the tapes that you find. And then it says you're waking up again. Wait, you can't bring up a plot point only to get rid of it 5 seconds later. Also, what's on those other tapes? Why can't we hear them? This seems to be so tacked on, I don't even think the creator even really thought it out. Oh, and you can also continue from the main menu in case you wanted to go back to it from a point that you left off. Which is, of course, a joke in itself. The game can be beaten in 10 to 15 minutes, but that is a sizable improvement from the first version, which could be beaten in 5 minutes. The letter is pretty mediocre. Graphically, it looks okay for a budget game, but it controls terribly and the plot feels like a fever dream from an insane clown. However, it's gone down in price a lot. It used to be $2, and now it's only 49 cents. And I actually think that's a dead-on price for this. Plus, the creator said he's going to add in more. So if this looks like a game that you might enjoy, 49 cents, you could do worse. Hey guys, I hope you liked my second review or revisit of the letter. And I promise you this is the last revisit of the letter, or review, or whatever you want to call it. If you'd like, you can check out my last review of Super Metroid, or you can check out my first review of the letter. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe.